Hello and welcome to this wonderful course of computer networks. And today we are going to see how end systems get access to the internet. So as you can see on your slide that there are three ways to get connected with the internet. So the first is residential access. You must have at your place, at your home, and the second is institutional access, and in this particular access all the company access, school, colleges, all these types of mass access comes under this category. And the third one is mobile access network. I hope we all have cell phones and we use that network. So there are three ways to get access uh, of internet, which you can also see on the right side of the slide, that the first one is your mobile access, the second one is your residential access, and the third one is your uh, institutional access. So let's understand the residential access, in which you have a computer or a desktop at your place along with the telephone cable connection at your place. And this is one of the biggest network uh, currently we have, which is also called PSTN, Public Switched Telephone Network. And this particular network is laid down for telecommunication with the help of dot phones. But this particular network, PSTN, is also used for accessing internet at your place. Initially, during the earlier days, we used to have a dial-up connection at a place, at our homes. At that time, we did not use this DSL modem. So at that time, uh, we used to have a dial-up modem, which did not have a um separate connection, but that particular modem uh, is connected with the cable, which used to connect your dot phones. So either your dot phone works at a time, or your um, internet for your computer for the internet access. At that time, this particular cable, we used to have only 4 kilohertz of frequency. In this particular cable, that copper cable used to carry 4 kilohertz of frequency, which is enough for carrying the voice signals. And over that frequency, we used to have 512 kbps of speed. And but now, as this DSL modem, digital subscriber line modems, came into the market, and over the same coaxial cable, now we have up to 10 mbps of the speed. So these days, you can see this splitter, which splits the frequency band, and this splitter is got low pass and high pass filters. I hope you must have studied these types of filters in your basic electronics course. So this particular splitter filters your low frequency band and high frequency band, and low frequency band goes to the dot phone, which requires only 4 kilohertz of the frequency, and rest is used for internet. So the day DSL came into play, um, using this technology, you can use both dot phones and your desktop for accessing the internet at the same time. So it's a very good technology, and internet access is also good, because you are getting speed up to 10 mbps over here. This copper cable, which is used for your dot phone, it is terminated at the your BSNL office, or you can say the central telecom office, where you will find a device with the name DSL AM, which stands for Digital Subscriber Line Access Multiplexer. And as we all know that multiplexer is many to one, so all the subscriber or all the users telephone lines are terminated at this DSL AM. And this particular modem, uh, which are installed at your home for broadband access, converts your digital signal into analog one, because this particular copper cable, which used to connect your dot phone, carry analog signals only, and your computer generates digital signal. So this particular computer is connected with this DSL modem with the help of category 5 or category 6 cable. You must have seen that particular cable of gray color, and it has a crystal connector at the end, which is also called RJ45. This particular cable is got four pairs, and this cable is used for carrying digital signals from computer to modem, and modem to computer. Then this modem converts a digital signal into analog one, and passes or transmits the signal uh, to the copper cable, which carries analog signal. At the telco side or telecommunication office side, this DSLAM separates your internet data from your voice data, and passes the data to internet service provider, and that voice data passes to the telephone network. So that's how this particular system works these days. And now these days technology is more advanced, and instead of using this copper cable, we use optical fiber these days. The speed of optical fiber is much faster than your copper cable, and the data carrying capacity bandwidth is much higher than your copper wire or coaxial cable, which we used to have for internet access. Now you see the enterprise access network. The only difference with the residential access uh, in this particular technology is that this particular modem is connected with the switch now, which is used for designing local area networks. And this switch can create a LAN in which you can connect n number of computers. And most of the time the computer connecting capability or capacity of switch is 24 computers, and you can connect multiple switches together for creating a big local area network. And as far as your wireless access networks are concerned, you have wireless local area network at your home, which is also known as 802.11 IEEE standard, and where you have Wi-Fi modem at your place for accessing internet without cables. And the second is wide area wireless network. This is a cellular network. You must have seen this three leg towers nearby your home, through which you get internet access in your cell phones, in your cars. So that is how these um, internet access is provided to three types of scenarios. Like first one is your residential access, second one is your institutional access, and third one is the wireless access. So let's focus now on the physical media. So bit, what is bit? It propagates between transmitter and receiver pairs. I hope you understand a single bit of information. A bit can be 0 or 1. So physical link is what lies between transmitter and receiver. So we have two types of media: guided media and unguided media. Guided Under guided media we have like signals propagate in solid media like copper wire, optical fiber, or coaxial cables. And under unguided media category we have radio signals, or it's like wireless transmission of data through radio signals. And we have another example of guided media is a twisted pair, which carries your digital signal. That is what I told you, that it can be category 5 or category 6 cable, and this connector is called RJ45. And this RJ45 connector is also called registered jack 45. This particular connector has got 8 pins over here, and and it is used for connecting four twisted pair cables with the color codings, which are used for creating straight cable and crossover cables. uh, we have different types of cable for connecting different devices together in computer networks, that we will also discuss later in our lectures. So you can see that this is the coaxial cable at the left side, and these are the optical fiber cables which used to carry light signals, and this particular coaxial cable used to carry electrical signals. So two concentric copper conductors, bidirectional and broadband, multiple channels on cable. And if you talk about optical fiber cable, glass fiber carrying light pulses, each pulse a bit, high speed operation, high speed point to point transmission. Example, it provides you 10 to 100 Gbps transmission rate, low error rate, repeaters spaced far apart, immune to electromagnetic noise. Another example is radio waves, signal carried in electromagnetic spectrum. No physical wire is required. It's again a bidirectional communication. Propagation environment affects reflection, obstruction by objects, and interference. Radio link types: terrestrial microwave. Uh, it can give you speed up to 45 Mbps. And then you have local area network, example Wi-Fi. It can give you 54 Mbps max speed. Wide area network, I showed you the example, cellular network. These days we are using 4G, and 5G is about to come. And finally we have satellite communication, which can provide kbps to 45 mbps speed. So we are still discussing our unit 1, which is introduction part of computer network, and that's it for the day. And in the next lecture we will discuss the latency part, that is very important for the examination point of view, or from the competitive examination point of view as well, in which we'll discuss all the delays present in end-to-end communication. Thank you very much.